Everything began when a group of mutineers fleeing British justice deserted the ship Bounty and chose this island as their refuge. But the truth is, this island had witnessed blood, destruction, and silence long before their arrival. When Polynesians reached this isolated landmass in the 11th century, they encountered what seemed like a paradise. Freshwater sources, fertile soil, and most importantly, abundant deposits of obsidian, one of the most valuable raw materials of the era, were found all across the island. This glass-like black stone was vital for both weapon-making and trade. The Polynesians settled here. They brought animals, cultivated crops, and mined the land. They traded their obsidian and stone resources with the people of Mangareva Island, located roughly 500 kilometers away. The island was isolated. Located in the middle of the ocean, it was nearly impossible to reach. And perhaps for that very reason, the society established here managed to live in relative prosperity for nearly 400 years, until the resources began to run out. The mines declined. Trade slowed to a halt. And on a small island, scarcity quickly turned into hostility. Relations with Mangareva deteriorated. Hunger began. Famine gave birth to anger, and anger led to civil war. There was nowhere to escape, and finding a new island was impossible. The Polynesians slowly perished, both from starvation and from violent conflicts among themselves. Eventually, they disappeared completely from the island, surviving only in the pages of history. There were no human voices left. Only the wind and the ocean remained. Centuries passed. In 1787, the British Empire sent the ship Bounty into the Pacific Ocean on a special mission. Its objective was to locate saplings of a nutritious fruit known as breadfruit and transport it to the Caribbean. Britain had a large enslaved population in the Caribbean. Feeding this population required a cheap and sustainable solution. Breadfruit appeared to be the perfect answer. After a long and exhausting journey, the crew of the Bounty arrived in Tahiti. And there, for the first time in their lives, they encountered a world where discipline completely collapsed, a world utterly different from their own. Tahiti was a true paradise to them. There was abundance, there were women, there was no obligation, no pressure. For 6 months, the ship was almost forgotten. Military order dissolved, and when it was time to leave, no one wanted to go. But disobeying orders was not easy. Thoughts of mutiny were suppressed, until the ship returned to open sea. In the middle of the ocean, led by Fletcher Christian, the crew mutinied. Captain William Bligh and 18 men loyal to him were set adrift in a small boat, abandoned to the vast ocean. For most, this meant certain death. But Bligh survived. He rowed nearly 6,500 kilometers to reach land. And when he returned to Britain, he reported everything. Revenge was inevitable. Meanwhile, Christian and the mutineers returned to Tahiti. They had no idea Bligh had survived. The British Navy pursuing them was only a matter of time, so they fled. They took several Tahitian women and men with them, and they reached Pitcairn Island, a place nearly forgotten on maps, erased from human memory, its past written in blood. In 1790, a total of 27 people lived on the island. 9 European sailors, 12 Tahitian women, and 6 Tahitian men. The women were distributed among the Europeans. The remaining women were forced to rotate among the local men. This inequality was only a matter of time before it exploded. The island was fertile. There was water. The land was generous. But a major problem was about to emerge: alcohol. McCoy learned how to produce alcohol from local plants. Intoxication brought violence. Violence brought fear. During a drunken rage, a woman's ear was torn off, completely destroying the fragile balance on the island. She later took her own life, and all that remained was hatred. The local men armed themselves, firearms were stolen, and within hours, most of the Europeans were killed. But the story did not end there. The local men became an even greater threat to the women, and the women, in turn, killed them one by one in their sleep. Eventually, only 4 European men and the women remained. Over time, those men either died or took their own lives. Only one man remained, John Adams. Adams became the island's absolute leader. He imposed rules he believed were righteous. He banned alcohol. He spread Christian teachings. And he began to see himself as someone sent by God. As years passed, children were born. The island was repopulated, and life there seemed more peaceful. This time, it was a quiet, obedient, deeply religious society. When British ships arrived in 1808, they encountered a respectable, orderly, and faithful community. The past was not spoken of, and no one asked. But the darkness never disappeared. It only changed its form. In 2004, the island's population was around 60, and a significant number of the men were prosecuted for child abuse and sexual assault, including the mayor. Today, the population stands at around 50, and Pitcairn Island still lives under the shadow of its past. A place that looks like paradise may in fact be one of the darkest islands in the Pacific. That's all from me for today. If you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. See you in the next one. Take care.